Hello everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. So today we are going to focus on an important part of the product management process. Um, it's going to focus mostly on design. Um, I think if you've had the experience of being in a product management function, you would appreciate the nuances of having great design at your disposal. If not, then you should definitely understand that design is one of the most important functions on the overall product management aspect that you need to master. Uh, I'm not definitely encouraging you to go ahead and get a degree in design, but I think great product management experiences um culminate from great, you know, design at its heart. So you can think of any, product, your favorite product. It could be a software product, a non-software product, and think about the time that you've had maybe great experience and you loved it and you just kept on using the product, right? So design is essentially what gets customers to you know be hooked, if I have to put it that way, and then essentially they continue using it. So if I were to summarize like why is design needed by customers, then I would probably say that uh, I need my customer to have great experience with the product. uh, I should, as a product manager, see very minimal need of hand holding for my customer, because the customer doesn't or shouldn't be actually reliant too much on the product experience uh, from the product side, from the product management side, right? And then essentially that product with the design should get the work done for which the customer has either purchased, subscribed, whatever else, right? I mean the product. So I think you get the gist of why design is important. Uh, let's jump into, I think, some of the types of design. We usually emphasize on interaction based designs for most of our, I would say, software products, or if you're developing mobile apps. It's, as the name suggests, it's like primarily focused on the interactions with the product, like how the customer interacts with the product. You can develop prototypes in tools like Figma, Balsamic, Just in Mind, and so on and so forth. And there is an underlying model, a data model, a layer that you can think of that is sitting, and then you basically derive components out of it, right? So let's look at a very simple example. Let's say you are trying to kind of create a sign up page for customer. So there are different components, and there's also some information that you would need. So you would have your standard, let's say, username. You would expect the customer to have and fill up the password for the sign up. You would probably have some sort of maybe a landing page logo, let's say, right? You can also give in options to sign in through Google, Facebook, or maybe like a phone number, right? So all of these different parts constitute uh, the interaction design experience for the customer on the sign up page, right? And and what you should also understand is that if I want to, for example, use or create another, let's say, um, uh, another page that could use maybe some part of it and have obviously completely new uh, completely new components. All of that will sit inside like your meta information. You can think of it as a library, where all of your collection of these components like username, password, sign up options, logo, whatever else you can think of, right, on the page are like present. So it's like a mix, and it's exhaustive, right, of all the components. um, there is also the important part of design that is related to visuals. Um, how do the product components appear? For example, like I could have in the previous example, I could have this sign up page in different colors, fonts and size, right? And then probably take it through your normal. Like if I am to design, like I can take it through the normal A/B testing. I'll put up a separate video for A/B testing, but the idea, you should get the idea of visual appeal, or I would say like visual ease when the customer is actually interacting with your product. um, I think this is often an overlooked part. uh, this is the most important part in, I would say, the entire design process. The customer testing. The customer would not be obviously satisfied if the design is clumsy. Like for example, if I give you just the options of sign up with Google and not Facebook and maybe your phone number, then that's not a complete interaction design. So I think customer testing solves a lot of purposes. The prime ones being, is the user able to use what you set out to design, right? Is the user able to navigate in the way that you wanted the user to navigate? Also, you, because you want to understand certain user behaviors and habits, you can collect data, how the user is actually like using those components or design parts that you have put out for testing. And then essentially when you're doing testing, never give user only one option, right? So for example, let's talk about this sign up page, right? I could probably have a design page where I show the user that, okay, here is your username and a password, and I give basically three options. Like that's one way of putting. I could also have another option wherein I say that I could have username here, I could have password side by side, uh, and then I basically have Google, Facebook, and number, and your logo maybe here, right? Um, so I think one versus two, you can decide primarily either by, like if you are looking at from a user perspective, you want to roll out to large number of users, but you don't have time to interview a lot of users, right? You can obviously do some sort of like A/B testing, uh, which is essentially rolling out this, let's say, page or a mobile app, page to X number of users, and this to maybe Y number of users. And then what you do is essentially see to the testing. We'll cover more of it in subsequent videos, but I think this video was able to give you uh, you know good understanding of why design is important, why is it needed by the customer, some form of design methodologies. uh, of course, like you can get into the details of all of the interaction based design IX and how do you actually like do visual design. There are obviously a lot of courses that are available, and on testing, how does it impact the customer. uh, always as a product manager, keep these things in mind when you're having interaction with your design team. It will help make the conversations more fruitful and more meaningful for your customers. So I hope this video was useful. If you like the video and the content, please do like and subscribe, and also let me know in the comments below what you would want more from a design perspective. Thank you.